Hi you guys, it's Lynnea. I am so super excited about the collaboration between Unity and Deco foil and thermal web to create these toner card fronts. So there are 6 different designs. I'm going to be using 3 of them today, and I have another video coming later this week where I will use the other 3. So today I'm going to be using the Circles of Plenty, Flowers Divine, Butterfly and the Butterfly Flyaway toner card fronts. I'm going to be using some distress inks on these today to do some ink blending, but I experimented with a lot of different coloring. I used alcohol markers and colored pencils and ink blending, and I found that even though this paper looks a little slick, you can see that I ran my finger along that there because I wanted to see if the ink was going to just slide right off. It didn't. It held on really well to this cardstock, and actually I love the way that this blends. So you're going to notice here that the color kind of goes on a little bit lighter than what it would with regular cardstock, but there was like no blending needed. It was perfect. And I found it was the same way when I colored with alcohol markers. So really any color medium that you want to try, the only one that I didn't really work with was watercolor. So I found that most of the things I tried here worked really well. So this one is the Butterfly Flyaway toner card front, and I am just going in with different colors of orange and yellow distress inks. I ended up sticking with ripe persimmon, fossilized amber, and then a little bit of squeezed lemonade up at the top for this little yellow-orange butterfly toner sheet. Now what I did here is I just took a clean towel, and I'm just going to gently kind of wipe that with that towel. And that was just so that if any distress ink was sitting on top of that toner, I wanted to make sure that when I ran this through my laminating machine that the foil really transferred well. I don't think that it really made much of a difference, but if you are afraid that maybe the foil won't transfer, you could transfer the foil on first and then add ink, but I found it transferred just fine for me doing the ink blending first and then the foiling after. So I do want to mention that while I am doing all this distress inking, and this took me probably about 10 or 15 minutes because I'm a slow inker, I have my laminating machine off to the side on my desk and it is heating up. So it probably heated up for about 10 minutes after the ready light came on. Once I had the ink blended on to both of these card fronts the way that I wanted them to be, I'm going to grab a couple colors of foil. So I have magenta and gold Deco foil sheets. I'm just going to cut a piece of the foil that is slightly larger than the card fronts, and I will run this through my laminating machine on the 5 mil setting in between a piece of parchment paper for the carrier sheet. Now I also distress ink blended one of the Circles of Plenty toner card fronts, and I just used some hickory smoke distress ink on that one just to have a gray background. So I did magenta for the Butterfly Flyaway, and I'm going to be doing the gold Deco foil for the Flowers Divine. Ran that through my laminator, and check this out. Look at that gorgeous, gorgeous foiling. I love this Butterfly Flyaway pattern because it has thick lines and it really picks up the foil. But then there's this one. This is the Flowers Divine, and that one has thin lines. And so, I don't know, I can't really pick a favorite. I love the thin detailed lines, and I love the thicker lines on the Butterfly Flyaway sheet too. So this one is the Circles of Plenty, and I use the Rainbow Shattered Glass Deco foil on that one. I'm going to be using these kind of as cut-aparts for the card fronts. What's perfect about these toner sheets is that you can definitely just have this. These are designed to be the size of a card front, so they're A2 sized, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. You could color this, foil this, throw a sentiment on, and boom, you're done. And they look absolutely gorgeous that way. But I decided to cut apart these toner card fronts and create some different cards, kind of mixing and matching the foiled pieces. So I cut the Butterfly Flyaway diagonally in half-ish so that I could layer that on top of one of the Circles of Plenty foiled pieces, and I actually ended up doing 2. I had only started with this rainbow shattered glass piece, but I went back and I decided to do a second one with deep blue foil, and that way I would make sure that I have enough. I really liked the look of the magenta butterflies with this deep blue foil. Originally I had planned to put it behind the Flowers of Plenty, or the Flowers Divine piece, but I decided to use the Flowers Divine on its own. I thought it was a little bit overwhelming with the circles peeking through that little cutout area there. I'm going to just use some Gina K Designs tape runner adhesive, and I will add that Circles of Plenty down onto my cardstock. And now I have some Gina K Designs foam tape, and I'm going to adhere half of that butterfly flyaway toner card front here, and I'm just going to add that so you can kind of see where I have this split card design where I cut the butterfly flyaway in half, and I was able to make 2 cards out of that one foiled piece. For the sentiment, I'm going to be using the Gina K Designs Petals and Wings stamp set. I'm just aligning the sentiment in this cutout area from the Flowers Divine foiled piece. I cut around that so that I could have a little cutout portion. I also stamped and white heat embossed the Thank You for Being a Friend sentiment. That's the one I used on all of these cards from the Petals and Wings stamp set. And I'm going to die cut these with some stitched circles. These ones happen to be from LDRS Creative. I like them because they add stitch detail to the outside and inside. So I cut those out. I decided to add a thin strip of black cardstock just to kind of give that a defining edge and separate those 2 foiled patterns a little bit more. And then I'm going to use some foam tape behind the circle sentiments, and I will just add those right on top. I love how quickly all 3 of these cards came together. Just a little bit of Distress ink blending and then a little bit of foiling, and these cards are done. So awesome. I love these Unity card fronts for Thermal Web. I hope that you'll check them out. I only used 3 of the patterns for this video. I do have another one coming up with the other 3 patterns, so you'll be able to see all 6 of the toner card fronts in action. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye!